Hello everyone, and thank you for joining the Running Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac webinar. Let's get started with the housekeeping and the legal disclaimer. I'll leave this up for just a minute and allow you to read that before we proceed on with the presentation today. Next, if you have any questions related to this webinar, you can use the chat feature in the GoToWebinar, and one of the consultants we have on the call with us will answer you. Any other questions can be directed to our direct support at 1-800-342-2599. We also have available for you a document that you can download that will go over everything that we are covering in this webinar today. I'll be your presenter today. My name is Allie Whitaker, and I'm the Professional Services Training Team Lead here at Calix. In today's webinar, we're going to cover how you can add in your Fannie Mae credentials, how you can add your Freddie Mac credentials, how you can run Fannie Mae DO or DU, and also how to run Freddie Mac's LPA inside of your system. So let me go ahead and open up Point and we'll get started. First, we're going to start with how you can add in your Fannie Mae credentials. First, you're going to go up to the menu bar that is going across the top to Utilities, and then down to Fannie Mae Connectivity. First, you need to select the radio button at the top for either Desktop Originator or Desktop Underwriter. Make sure that these match your credentials that Fannie Mae has sent you so that you can run the correct interface. Next, you have a couple check boxes that give you options. The first one is if you wish to skip the introduction page that comes up when you're running Fannie Mae. You can click that and it will no longer open that screen for you. The second one allows you to close out Fannie Mae without any prompts, and your information and results will automatically be downloaded into your document management system for you. Final option allows you to run the Fannie Mae without checking for underwriting errors for use like a pre-qual. Below that, you have where you will enter your user ID and password to be able to run either your Desktop Originator or Desktop Underwriter inside of Point. Once you've completed that, click OK. Next, we're going to enter the Freddie Mac credentials. This is also under the Utilities menu at the top. And we're going to go to Company Defaults and then Freddie Mac LPA System to System. Since this is under the Company Defaults area, this may be set up as an admin-only area in your system. The Freddie Mac LPA is going to be an area that when you enter the credentials, your whole company will have access to them. So they will not need to go in and enter their own credentials. It will be one for all of the company. This is the setup screen that you will get. The top three is where you would enter your ID, company level password if you had one, and LPA password. And then you have at the bottom where you can enter either your seller servicer number, TPO, or NOTP number, depending on what type of company you are, a broker or a correspondent lender. Once you enter that, go ahead and click OK. And then that will be saved to your server if you do have Point Central, and others will be able to use those credentials. Let's open up a file, and I'm going to walk through some of the important fields that you'll want to make sure you filled out in the application before you submit to Fannie or Freddie. When you first open up a loan, you're going to be on the borrower's information screen. Inside your subject property, you're going to want to make sure that you are filling out the attachment type, your property type, and then the three on the right, the mixed use property, manufactured home, and number of units. If you don't have these, you could end up with an error inside Fannie or Freddie. I'm going to scroll down just a little bit. And inside of the loan summary, your loan type. If you select the refinance option, you will need to select one of those subcategories, or you will get an error when running Fannie or Freddie. Over off to the right where we have our note rate and our term and due, you do want to make sure that you fill out both the term and due, or this could cause an error with the calculations of the loan amount and the payment amounts. I'm going to move over to section 1 of the application. And up at the top in the personal information, you do want to make sure that you are selecting their citizenship. Scrolling down to the employment section, one of your jobs in this area needs to be marked as their current job and have that primary checkbox checked. If you don't have one of those employers with both of those, then your Fannie or Freddie may misread that and not be able to calculate your income correctly. On to section 2 and 3. And I'm going to scroll down to the liabilities and then with the REO. Inside of your liabilities, if you are doing a refinance, you will need to make sure that you are marking these as to be paid off. So let me open up that and you can see will be paid off at closing. If you do before closing, that will not flow into your closing numbers. Another item dealing with liabilities is if you do have a mortgage listed in your liabilities, you will need to match that with an REO, or your Fannie or Freddie may kick back an error to you. So you'll scroll down to section 3A and you'll need to add a new REO. This will be to match the liability that you've got up in your liability section from your credit report. So you'll fill out your address, property value, status, intended and current occupancy. Save and close that. And then you will click the Match with Liability button. This will then allow you to match the liability from the top to your real estate owned that you just made. So you'll highlight the matching ones, click the Match button. See that the REO number on the far left now matches on your mortgage and your REO, and then close that out. On to section 5. Your declarations. You will need to make sure that you have your declarations fully filled in, or this may result in an error. You also will want to go to the Lender Loan Information page 1. And you may need to fill in items here based on the property and the loan information if it was not filled out inside of the loan application itself, such as if it's a community property, if you're construction to perm, or if you need to list your property type. You can also go to the Combined Transmittal New and review your information here and make sure you have all of your classifications and your mortgage information correct in here. Before we run Fannie Mae, we need to check that our Fannie Mae addendum has been filled in. That's under the Service tab, Fannie Mae, and Addendum. When all that is completed, you can go back up to your Services menu, your Fannie Mae, and Fannie Mae DO/DU. It's going to pull this screen up here for you. The first drop down, the transaction request type, you have two options in here. You've got credit and underwriting only. The first time that you run Fannie Mae, you will want to run the credit and underwriting. You will also need to have run credit inside of Point. This will pick up that credit report and run it through your desktop originator or desktop underwriter. The next drop-down is your submission types. You have several options in here. Preliminary is for if you are running a conventional loan, you select preliminary and not select any of your lenders. In interim and final, you will be able to select the lenders from the drop down below. If you don't see a lender that you expect to see, you can click that Refresh Lender button. This will refresh any lenders that you have set up inside of your Fannie Mae site. If you still don't see the lender that you are expecting to see, you may need to log on to your Fannie Mae site and see if you have successfully added that lender. Below that is a credit section. Some credit companies have separate credentials for running credit and also for running Fannie Mae. If your credit company is one of those, you would select it from the drop-down, and then you can click the Fannie Mae Credentials checkbox, which will then allow you to enter the Fannie Mae ID and password for your credit credentials. If you don't know if your credit company is one of these, please reach out to them and check to see if you do have separate ID and password for pulling credit and for running Desktop Originator or Desktop Underwriter. When that is set up, you'll go down to the bottom and click the Submit button, and this will run Desktop Originator or Underwriter in your system and pull up the results. Once you've run Fannie Mae and you get your results back, you will see a pop-up that will have a code 0. This is a successful submission, and it will then show your recommendations to you. That results window you can see will show any credit error logs and the underwriting recommendation status. The results are then automatically going to download into your document management system. Up in the top menu bar, you can use the filing icon, that is your document management system, or you can go from your eLoan file, document management, and that will also get you to that area. When preparing to run your Freddie Mac LPA, you'll follow the same prep with going through each 9 sections of your application and make sure that those are fully completed, as well as your lender loan information pages 1 and 2. You'll then also want to check under your services and your Freddie Mac and go to your Freddie Mac addendum. First, you'll want to make sure that you have your submitting role set up correctly. If it's set up incorrectly, you'll receive a 386 error. That is your ID and your sponsoring EIN is not allowed. So that means you've just set it up under the wrong or incorrect one. When you're ready to run your Freddie Mac LPA, you'll go back to your services and Freddie Mac and pick the Loan Product Advisor. Again, like when you were running Fannie Mae, you'll want to select the credit and underwriting first. Also, you will need to have run credit inside of the system so that your LPA can pull that credit in while running. Below that, you'll need to select your credit company. Lots of these will have the credit company and then a technical affiliate underneath that. So you may need to check to see which credit company you need to run it with and then select your actual credit company within that technical affiliate. Once that's complete, go ahead and click the Submit button down at the bottom. When your order is complete, it's going to pop up a box with your feedback, and those results will also go into your document storage, just like Fannie Mae results did. Thank you for attending today's webinar. We hope you received some helpful information. If we did not get to your question during this webinar, we will reach out to you shortly with that reply. At the end of this session, you will receive a 5-question survey. We would appreciate you completing that so we can improve our training program and follow up with you if you so choose. To further assist you, a recording of the webinar will be available through the Calix customer portal very soon. Have a great rest of your day.